What is up, everyone? It is I, DPX. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, DPX Talks, for about an hour. This is episode 61, everyone. And 61, look, I don't know why I repeated the number, but look, I said I've been trying to get a guest on here. And I finally got one. A guest I've already had on here, but hey, no shame in being on here twice, you know what I mean? What's up, Greg? Greg, the video game nut.
What's up, DPX?
Yep.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're here. It's been like it was only 3 weeks since the last episode. You know, normally there's a bit more of a gap. But I'm trying to like at the end of 2023, there's like a 3-month gap without an episode. And, you know, I'm kind of trying to make up for it, and I want to do these a bit more frequently. Maybe do more than one a month. We'll see about that. But, yeah, how you doing today, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk some video games, movies, TV, maybe a little bit of wrestling in there. You know, I'm ready. Are you?
Pretty much.
All right. We'll start. I'll usually ask my guest this. What have you been playing? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's been a whole mix of stuff. Like you, I've done Tekken, I've done Persona, I've been doing Foamstars, which we will get into.
Yeah, I played Persona.
We'll be getting to that later.
Yeah,
I've been doing Fortnite because of, well, Solid Snake, which I did get. I'm just trying to finish out the Battle Pass bonus. And, of course, I'm saving for Raiden when he pops back in the shop.
Repeat that last one again?
I'm saving up for Raiden when he pops back in the shop.
Raiden, okay.
And as you know, Marvel 1 as well.
Yeah. You know, I don't think we got to talk to each other about Tekken. But what do you think about Tekken, you know?
8 is probably the best one in the series.
Probably.
I'm going to leave it at that.
And Persona, because I played quite a bit of Persona 3 Reload, but I'm nowhere near finished with it. But I really like it.
I'm using a guide, but it's been pretty good.
Yeah. I was using a guide at first, but I'm like, fuck it. I could do it.
Which website did you use?
No, I was using like a walkthrough.
Oh, I was using Samurai Gamers. They have like all the Personas on there.
Yeah. And yeah, and you also mentioned Foamstars, which we'll talk about a bit later.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I was gonna make a review.
I can't wait to see what you think.
I was gonna make a review for it, but I don't know if I want to make a review for it. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just me being lazy. But we'll get to that later. Anything you've been watching lately?
I wouldn't say anything in particular per se. Just I'm still waiting to see how things pan out. I think most of it is due to my own personal schedule. I haven't watched anything like crazy. I've been tempted to see like the cinema premiere of Advent Children, but I do not know if I will have the time for that.
Now I forget. Like you said, cinema premiere. Did that play in theaters originally, or is it?
This is actually the first time it's coming to American theaters.
Oh, it was in Japanese theaters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in America it was on like video. Well, this is the first time they're putting on the big screen.
Yeah. I don't know, Advent Children's kind of like a weird one to me, because like no one talks about that when it comes to like video game movies, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have Spirits Within, which is why Square merged with Enix. I remember seeing like merch of that in a Goodwill even.
Yeah,
I didn't hear very good things about it.
That movie, I saw like a video about it that basically went through the whole movie. So I guess through that video I saw the movie basically, and
yeah, technically they do it for you.
Yeah, that movie like was like obviously it was terrible, but like it also, what's the word? It was financially like disastrous for Square Enix. Like you said,
that's why they went with Enix.
Yeah,
that Square, was a cause.
Yeah. They weren't Square Enix yet. Yeah, but yeah, it's like I can't think of like another time where like a video game company was greatly damaged by a movie. You know, I can't really think of any other. I feel like there might be one, but yeah. Anyways, we got some other topics to talk about. one topic that I'm going over to the list I sent Greg. So look, okay, I'm gonna talk about some wrestling. Greg, how are you with wrestling?
I've heard about, well, what you're about to talk about. I've seen it pop up.
We disappeared for a
So
second.
I know a slight bit about it.
Yeah, well, there's two wrestling topics, but yeah, the first one is this would have been a bigger topic, but A, it's a bit touchy, so trigger warning, and B, I feel like on the one hand, like, it's kind of old news, but on the other hand, more and more stuff keeps coming out. If you are familiar with wrestling, even if you're not familiar with wrestling, I'm sure you have heard of the name Vince McMahon. You know, what he did aside, it would be a lie if you said he's not, like, the most influential wrestling promoter of all time. In 2022, though, the Wall Street Journal reported on a whole bunch of, like, a huge scandal, a bunch of hush money payments he made towards numerous women after, and he had to step down, but then, like, he came back to WWE, but, like, to make a sale to the UFC parent company, Endeavor, and then he was kind of on the board. He was still not in charge of, like, the creative team, that was Triple H, thank God, but now, for the past few weeks, it's just been nonstop allegations. And they're more than just allegations. They're like actual court documents against Vince McMahon. Sex trafficking allegations. There's a whole thing with Janelle Grant, who it's textbook grooming and manipulating. And I don't want to get too into detail because the details in those documents are truly nasty and deplorable. And then more and more stuff keeps coming out. Like, there was an alleged rape that happened with one of the female wrestlers, and he knew about it. I can't recall if he did it, but, like, he knew about it, and, it was handled poorly, and I think she ended up taking her own life a few years ago. So, yeah, it's... Look, you have your opinions on Vince McMahon, on what he's done for wrestling, but, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? Like, he's evil. That's the best word to describe it. He's an evil, deplorable human being. Yeah. And the investigation that's going on, it could possibly lead him to prison time, which is something I never thought would happen, and I don't know if it will. I don't know if he, like, I don't know if it will lead him to prison time, but, like, Jesus, bro. Greg, any thoughts on the Vince McMahon situation?
You can own the world, but then you fall very far from the tree. I mean, I've passed the WWE headquarters before, like, at least once on, like, a trip back in high school with my family. And, of course, we obviously didn't go in, but, I mean, it was a cool sight, but then again, like, how does this impact, the organization as a whole, like, the fan base and whatnot? Because don't forget, they're still doing events, and they always post about them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Vince McMahon has not been a part of, like, the actual programming side of things for a while. So, and, yeah, but he's gone, and he's long gone. Like, he's not coming back,
It's probably for the better, to be fair with you.
Yeah. So yeah, this story keeps going. There's a good chance that next month I might have more to talk about with this situation. But yeah, sticking to wrestling though, I know, like, not all of you come to listen to me talk about wrestling, but, like, that's why we're doing it at the beginning. You can skip this if you want. But I made a whole rant video about one of the weirdest booking decisions I've ever seen in any wrestling promotion. I made a whole rant video about it on my second channel, DPXtra, where Cody Rhodes, the most over babyface in the company, won the Royal Rumble and was going to challenge Roman Reigns to a rematch at WrestleMania But then The Rock comes in and sets up a match with Roman Reigns. Cody looks like an absolute pushover, and then it's revealed behind the scenes that The Rock basically like politicked his way into that match. Well, as it turns out, like the backlash was so strong that press conference that happened, it turns out Cody Rhodes comes out, picks Roman Reigns as his opponent, and then The Rock turns heel, which is something I never thought I'd see in the year 2024. The Rock becomes a bad guy, slaps the shit out of Cody Rhodes, and it all felt so real just because like they're like cursing and shit, like bleeped out and everything, but there's like F-bombs that are getting bleeped out in a product that was like for a while PG, you know. So this is crazy, like The Rock dropping F-bombs. It's insane. And my excitement level for WrestleMania has gone up. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to say about this, Greg. I just wanted to, No,
I understand. I mean, that's definitely going to, get more viewers into this year's event now that this has happened. But then again, I mean, considering that you mentioned The Rock and with the topics listed, we are definitely going to maybe get back to him before you know it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We were going to talk about that. I completely forgot about the Disney dates. But, we'll get back to The Rock. But, just something I wanted to, like, what's the word? Like, tie up, because I made a whole rant video about this, and then it got resolved. But I think, like, storyline-wise, it's not resolved, but, like, we can sleep tonight, because Cody Rhodes is fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Let's go. Alright, now, some other topics. A new trailer for a show coming to Paramount, of all things, has dropped. And, like, I remember subscribing to Paramount to watch the Halo show, and I watched, like, the first few episodes, and I was like, this is fucking boring. So then I never watched any other episodes, and then I also never really watched anything else on Paramount, so I actually canceled my subscription to Paramount because, like, what am I doing with this? Well, I might have to subscribe to it again, because spin-off of the Sonic movies, Knuckles, has dropped. They announced that they were doing a Knuckles series. And I was excited because Knuckles is my favorite Sonic character. But I wasn't sure how they were going to do that, Like, I don't know. But the trailer came out and it looks great. I'm excited. It looks like the same quality as the movies, It looks like it could have almost been from one of the movies. And I'm surprised we even got, like, Sonic and Tails are in there as well. And, not James Marsden's wife, like, that character. I don't remember.
Tika Stupper?
Huh?
Yeah, that's her name, I think. Tika Stupper.
The character or the actress?
The actress, but the character's name is Maddie.
Maddie, okay. Yeah, she's in there. I don't think we saw James Marsden is in there, but, it looks like a lot of fun. It comes out next month. I didn't know it was coming that soon. But yeah, Greg, I know you're a big Sonic fan, and I know you really like the movies. What are your thoughts on the Knuckles series trailer, and, are you excited for the show?
So, I am currently not a Paramount Plus subscriber, but I'll say it like this, the wait is over, because I've been going back and forth with a certain someone who is like, when is Knuckles coming? When is Knuckles coming? And then I see, like, a message from someone else, and I just forward the information immediately. Of course, I watched the trailer, and it honestly looks pretty good. It does have that TV show budget look, but this looks really promising for what it's going to offer. I know they're going to release all episodes at once in April.
Oh, they are?
And I've even seen the names of them already. Episode 3 title fucking shocked me with what they named it.
Yeah, I didn't know they were
I'm going to stay here for the sake of spoilers and religion.
Yeah, I didn't know they were dropping all of them at once. Because I know, like, for Halo, they didn't do that. They dropped them week to week.
Yeah, because it's a limited series. True. It's like one of those kind of things.
But yeah, I'm excited for Knuckles, and it comes out in a month. Was not expecting it to come out in a month. I don't know if like they said it was gonna be like within the first half of 2024 or not. I didn't know if they
just said early after they planned it for 23, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah. But yeah,
also, I think it was due to SAG-AFTRA.
True, yeah. But I'm excited for Knuckles. Yeah.
Not just that, but also they revealed the Turtles continuation for Mutant Mayhem.
True. I did not watch that trailer, but do you want to give your thoughts on that? Why not?
Basically, I'll give a quick rundown. It's kind of spoilers, but not really. Basically, compared to like the comic book 3D style, it's just 2D animation. I don't mind, but I'm excited to see how the Mutant Mayhem universe will continue. I know there's a game as well that's apparently going to happen. There's no word on a release date. Just all I know is early this year.
I'm not excited for that game at all. That's being done by Outright Games. They're like a
for kids. I mean, Konami collection. I mean, old games but good. Shredder's Revenge, fucking loved. This, I'm in the middle for.
Outright Games are like a slightly not as bad game mill entertainment. All right, I'm not.
Well, I mean, it's in the UK.
Yeah, but still, I don't. They're like a UK version of Game Mill Entertainment. Then. Like,
I find it funny how they like also advertise their games on Steam, because I see like Profuser playing the My Little Pony game for like a video.
Yeah.
Like that's real.
That's another thing I'll have to subscribe to Paramount for, the Mutant Mayhem series, or I don't know if it's called Mutant.
It's called Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know it's a mouthful, but it is what it is.
And it's a lot of T's as well. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. We got some big topics, but we're gonna talk about them in some like out of order. You know, like the order I listed them to Greg isn't gonna quite be the order that we'll talk about them in. One of them I wanted to be like a major topic, but I'm not quite sure how much we really have to say about this. Is some casting news. I realize I don't usually talk about casting news on the podcast. Not that it's like, you know, something I avoid doing. It's just I don't know. But for a while, I feel like we've been wondering for so long who what the cast for Fantastic Four is gonna be, you know, and who's gonna play Reed Richards. You know, we heard about, obviously the fan casting was John Krasinski, but then there was like Adam Driver was suggested. For Sue Storm, we had names like Vanessa Kirby and Jodie Comer, and even Margot Robbie I heard brought up a few times. But now it seems official that Pedro Pascal is going to be Reed Richards. You know, Pedro Pascal was Joel in The Last of Us, and was Din Djarin in The Mandalorian, and he was in Game of Thrones. I don't know what character he was, but because I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but he was in Game of Thrones. It seems to be confirmed that Pedro Pascal is gonna be Reed Richards, which I feel like that's an inspired choice, you know. And Pedro Pascal is like on a roll right now. He's big after, like, coming off of The Last of Us and The Mandalorian, you know. So I think this is a good choice. You know, it's not quite what I would have expected, but I think it makes sense. I can totally see Pedro Pascal being like, the Reed Richards is supposed to be like the smartest man alive, basically. I can totally see Pedro Pascal being the smartest man alive, you know. Greg, what are your thoughts on Pedro Pascal basically being confirmed as Reed Richards?
I was kind of anticipating that this was going to be the outcome, and so were many others, but I'm definitely happy for him. Like, I feel he's going to pull off the character really well compared to what we've seen in, like, past Fantastic Four adaptations. Like, I even have the game of the shitty 2005 movie, believe it or not, in my collection.
Oh, those movies, I love those movies as a kid, but like growing up, I'm like, yo,
just obviously retrospective, it's not the best. It's like, oh, you love bad things as a kid, but you realize how bad they are when you grow up.
Yeah. You realize like how bizarre a lot of the casting was. Like Like Jessica Alba as Sue Storm was not good casting.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all.
But like, we have one name for Reed Richards, and that's Pedro Pascal. I'm interested to see what the rest of the cast is. Like, I've heard a lot of names for Sue Storm, as I mentioned. I remember hearing once they're gonna gender swap the Thing and have Mila Kunis play him or her, I guess. Which I think that's a load of shit, and I think that was even debunked.
It sounds like just a fan cast. It's like Meg Griffin as the Thing. This is not Family Guy in real life.
Like, that would have been really like, look, I feel like gender swapping, like, people make a big deal about that, saying it's always woke stuff. Like, sometimes it doesn't matter too much, and there are rumors of them gender swapping Silver Surfer.
I'm not gonna be surprised.
That I feel like that's not as bad of an idea, and I think there is a female. So you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, or Greg if you know, but I feel like there is actually a female Silver Surfer in the comics.
You know what? Considering I'm on my laptop, let me just make a new tab quickly, and this is still running. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does exist. Literally in the search bar for some reason, it said female Silver the Hedgehog. I'm not going to even go there, but I've seen images on my end, so it does exist. Her name is Juno.
Juno, right. So, like, it's not even really gender swapping Silver Surfer.
Yeah, it's not really gender swapping because it's a real character already. Yeah.
Gender swapping the Thing, though, does not make sense. I think the Thing makes the most sense as, like, a big guy, you know?
Yeah, similar to the Hulk, but then again, he's like a golem of bricks.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and a little tangent about some other bullshit rumors about the casting. But yeah, moving on. This was a last minute addition to the topics that we have today. A new game came out, I think like yesterday or the day before. A new game that I really did not care about, and I didn't think anyone else did. It's called Helldivers 2. Came out for PS5 and PC. Now keep in mind the PC part, okay? And I have an article from Forbes that reads, the title is Helldivers 2 breaks PlayStation's PC launch record on day one. Now we'll read here. Ads. I don't have ad blocker on my phone, unfortunately, but
oh, that's an L.
Sony has been toying with different ways to expand its gaming reach past the PlayStation itself. And while that does not involve handing off exclusives to Microsoft or Nintendo, it has included PC. Okay, it gives a little insight. Now the experiment has evolved. Helldivers 2, one of Sony's new live service games in its quest to expand, that part of its lineup, has launched on PC and PS5 simultaneously. While far, far away from being a top PlayStation franchise, the concept of the day one launch on PC has allowed it to surpass even God of War as Sony's all-time best PC launch. Now it shows the numbers. On day one, a weekday at that, Helldivers 2 hit 81,840 peak players, which breaks God of War's previous best of 73,528 2 years ago when it launched on Steam. Again, the difference here is that this was well after God of War launched on PlayStation, opening the game up more broadly, while Helldivers 2 is launching on both at once, but still it's impressive. So, yeah, so those are just like the Steam numbers, not like the PlayStation numbers, but it seems that Helldivers 2 is doing really well, which is something I never really thought would be the case. I didn't really know. I wasn't sure how much interest there was in this game, cause like, you know, I saw the trailers and it looked cool, but it wasn't something I was gonna play. Something I maybe would have waited on a sale for, even though it's $40. But and I also just live service games, bro. Sony, I feel like, needs to pivot from live service games. But at the same time, maybe they won't, because this has proven successful. But why is this successful? Why did this... I mean, it's just like been out for a couple of days, you know, not that long. But, you know, it still has a pretty good launch for a game I thought was not, like, nobody cared about. Why? Well, for one, you do PC and PS5 day and date, and you have to pay to play online on PS5, but you don't have to do that on PC. So that's one thing. Plus, I think it's also just games like this do better on PC. Games like this are geared more towards like a PC audience, and PlayStation are known for their single player games. People buy PlayStation for their single player games. So a game like this actually is more fitting for PC than PlayStation. Funny enough, even though this is a PlayStation game. And surpassed God of War. I think the main thing is, like, the article mentioned it, God of War, when that came out on PC, like, it had been out for a while, and people had already known about it. You know, people had already played it on console and all that, and then it came out on PC to reach a wider audience. Helldivers, on the other hand, is, you know, came out on PC at the same time as PS5. So, Greg, what are your thoughts on Helldivers 2? Are you surprised by how well it's doing? Did you ever have any desire to play it? What are your thoughts on all this?
I'm not surprised that the game is doing like overly well on PC because, I think just companies are aware how much people buy like computers, like how much they spend on them just to include the free online. But then again, the shooter games like that are like meant for PC. Like PlayStation, like the console itself is definitely like different with like the audience, unless you count like Fortnite or Call of Duty for shooter games. But Helldivers 2 is definitely, I think, a little bit of a surprise compared to what I think most of us were expecting, with it like being disappointing, because I have seen it being promoted, but I don't know if I'll take like a dip with this one. I know there's that other one that Bungie's making, which I remember even at my workplace they were putting it on like Spanish radio, which was kind of funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, this was after the PlayStation show from last spring.
Yeah. So yeah, surprising. I feel that although you're frozen, but you said it's not really surprising to you that Helldivers 2 is doing well, but it's surprising to me. So yeah, you're frozen on my end, but I don't know if like, are you all right, yeah. Sorry about that. Greg got disconnected. So what were you saying? Because I didn't know you were not done actually, but yeah.
Yeah, just basically, I think when Helldivers 2 was revealed, or its initial reveal, that was during the PlayStation Spring Showcase from last year, if I remember right. If not, it was the State of Play from, the fall.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Helldivers 2. We go from one game on PlayStation and PC, I believe this one is on as well. We go from one to another with this new game called Foamstars. We watched the reveal of this game together, along with Helldivers 2. Look at that. But we're watching that PlayStation showcase together where they revealed this game, and the whole time we were just like, yo, this is literally Splatoon. And I wasn't gonna play it, but you can probably actually go back to that to our reaction and hear me say, if this is free on PS Plus, I'll play it day one. I'll play it when it comes out. And it's free on PS Plus. And I played it. Greg, you played it too, right?
Yeah, I have day one as well.
Yep.
And I'm like done with most of the achievements, surprisingly. It's not that much. I think most of it is because of how, well, it's one of those kind of games, but I'll let you go further.
Yeah, now I was gonna review this game. I still might, I don't know. I could, but I don't know if I really want to. Not necessarily because, like, normally when I say that, that's not a good thing about the game. But it's not that it's bad. It's just, like, I don't know, like, if I... Maybe it's laziness, Maybe I don't want to put in the effort to make a review for this game. I don't know. It's a process that I feel I don't want to go through. Whatever. I'm making excuses. What do I think about fucking Foamstars? It's alright. I don't... Like, look, the comparisons to Splatoon are there, But it is unique in certain ways, It's not like in Splatoon you get to like customize your Inkling, specifically with the weapon they use. But in Foamstars, it's not. You don't really customize them like that. It's different characters, and they
each character is like their own type.
Yeah, and then some of them are like slower than others. So like, But I usually just end up playing as the main character, the main girl with the pink hair.
Oh, Soa?
Soa, yeah. Why do you...
Yeah, I try to grab her as well whenever the spot's not fucking taken. Because, of course, it's like, only one person can choose the character per match.
Which I think is fucking stupid, but, yeah, I guess Soa's just the most popular character because she's just the most easy to use. But,
yeah, I could agree with you on that. She's very, like, easy to use.
I'd say, like, the game feels nice. Like, the movement, I think, is smooth. And I do like, the missions I found really fun.
Oh, yeah, that mode that probably most of the community's already forgotten about.
Yeah, I do like the visual style of the game. And there are some cutscenes in the game that are, like, that look like they're straight out, like, an anime or, like, a comic book. Like, probably a blend of the two, which I think are really cool. The thing is, like, I just don't... Okay, wanna know one of the reasons I did not review this game? I just realized this is one of the reasons why. I kind of forgot. Kind of played it for a couple of days, and I kind of just forgot to keep playing it. I don't know if it, like... It's not a bad game, I just feel like it's aggressively mid, It's a perfectly fine multiplayer game. I didn't even talk about the multiplayer yet. The multiplayer, it's fine. It's Splatoon. It is Splatoon. But instead of ink, it's foam. Except I've been disconnected quite a few times, which was frustrating.
Oh no, I've seen some of that too. Like, I think it was during Happy Bath Survival, which is the team-based mode. If like one person disconnects when you're in the ring, you're like genuinely fucked. Like that's happened to me before. It sucks.
Yeah. It's a perfectly fine game. It's something that I can possibly keep going back to. Good thing it's free, I would not have played this game if it wasn't free, and I feel like that goes for most people. Like, Greg, you wouldn't have played... Would you have played this game if it was free? If it wasn't free?
I'm in the middle, actually, with whether or not, with, how Foamstars would be if it was, like, paid and not a PS Plus Day 1.
Well, I think it is paid. Like... It does cost
money.
Well,
yeah. For now, you just have to subscribe, but I think after this month, it's going to be paid. Oh, and that doesn't go on top of, like, obviously the $6 season pass to get Melty for the current season. If you don't want to just grind the game. And, of course, all the fucking cosmetics. Like, $45 for, like, a pack of cosmetics. Per character.
The battle pass.
You want to make someone like a cheerleader? $45. Want to make Melty look like anime girl? Another $45. Like, come on, Square, do better.
Wait, the battle pass is $45?
Oh, the character cosmetics per character. The season pass is only like $6.
Okay.
Even so, that's a little nutty.
So before I ask you what you think about the game, I just want to like ramble a little bit.
Yeah, Yeah, sure, go ahead. I mean, I understand.
It's not particularly about the game, about Foamstars, but it's more about Square Enix. I love Square Enix. They are probably like top 5 favorite publishers. Like, I think I've discovered that I'm a big RPG guy, you know. So like, if I'm an RPG guy, I kind of have to be a Square Enix guy. And I'm not saying like if you're known for one thing, you can't try other things.
I mean, they've been trying, like, this is not the first time they've experimented with, like, you know, different genres.
It's just, like, Square Enix with these multiplayer games, I just don't, like, something's just not right about it, you know? I feel like they don't do well, you know, with their live service games, you know, Outriders, I heard that was a disaster.
Babylon's First Soldier on mobile, I heard wasn't good, like, 100%, and that shut down last year.
Babylon's Fall, That one was like a blink and you miss it game. But
Fidel was the only one keeping it alive.
Yeah. Foamstars, on the other hand, is fun. But will this game last? To that, I'm not so sure. I'm not going to say no, because I didn't think anyone cared about Helldivers 2, and people do care about it. So I'm not going to say no. But I'm going to say I'm not sure, because, like, it just doesn't, like, Square Enix doesn't really seem to know how to really manage their live service games. Like, going back to Babylon's Fall, that almost bankrupted Platinum. It didn't, like, hurt Square Enix that much, necessarily. I think they just published it, but
yeah, still, they just took over Platinum.
But still, like, you know, that nearly bankrupted the developer. You know, I'm not going to say that that's going to happen here. Foamstars is definitely...
because it's Toy Logic, and they are known for that one Contra game that wasn't very good.
Oh, Rogue Corps?
I'm so happy Operation Beluga exists, and it's coming, like, soon. Because, honestly, like, that one Contra game, it's, like, you know, a sour taste.
Yeah.
So, already off the bat, not very good.
Well, you know what, Greg? You seem eager to talk about, fucking... Foamstars. So what are your thoughts on the game from what you played?
I'll lay it on you. So Foamstars is not bad, but also not great. The modes are definitely fun when they want to work, and also if your team has like actually good RNG. I've been playing like the online, and one thing I think I've noticed is I have seen so many of the same players in like different matches. Like,
yes,
that's how low the fucking player base is. I was about to say player base. Damn. But, while not bad, how long is it really going to last?
I think it's going to be one of those games that's like, it's sort of just there. You know, I don't think it's going to shut down for a while, but it's just going to be there. It's just going to exist. Some people are going to play it, but...
Yeah, I think I'll see myself revisiting it maybe like once in a while. Like I do want to get Melty, considering I already did play the open beta to try the game out before, obviously now. So, yeah, I don't know like what they're planning for the future, if they're doing like, you know, what characters, what themes, because obviously season 1 is like ice cream and desserts.
Mm-hmm.
Just hopefully with the premium shit, they actually put it in the store, because it does look good. Like, it's like, come on, we don't want to spend $50 on these cool looking assets that we could probably mod in.
Yeah. Well, we talked quite a bit about Foamstars. We're going to talk about another PlayStation game. Although this one, it also happens to be a Square Enix game. But this one...
Oh, way better. It's going to be way better.
Yeah. And there's a demo and I have played it, and it is way better. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has had its state of play, where they gave like one final trailer that was like nearly 5 minutes long, and
it was beautiful. It was amazing.
They went through the showcase. It showcased like a lot of cool new stuff, like some of the playable characters and
the skill tree for the synergy, the mini games,
the locations, the music. It showed off some of the like some remixes, like Cosmo Canyon. I think is like one particular track that I really like from the original, and it's remixed beautifully in this game. And yeah, like they show off in the state of play. They show off like Cloud, of course. You got your usuals, Cloud, Sephiroth. Sephiroth's playable. They don't really show him that much in the state of play, but I'll talk about that when we get to the demo. But they showed Cloud, of course, Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Barret, but Yuffie, and who is in Intergrade, of course, but Red 13, it looks like, you know, he joined a little too late in Remake, so
he joined at the end.
Yeah, so
we couldn't even play us until now.
Yeah, and Kate Sith as well. You know, it's really cool to see them. Vincent is there, although he's not going to be playable. And Zach is there as well. I don't think we saw any. I don't think we saw Zach being playable. But it would be really
not
cool.
yet. I know. I think I've seen on some merchandise. I've seen Sid Highwind as well. Considering.
Yeah. It would be really cool if we get to play as Zach. Like, it's so cool that, like...
considering Crisis Core reunions out there, and people are probably used to seeing that already.
Yeah, so, then the demo dropped, and I fucking love it. It's, like, it's not... Like, normally when these demos drop, where it's, like, you play the game, you play a little bit of the game, and then the save carries over to the full game. Normally it's like the beginning of the game. You basically start the game early with the demo. This isn't quite that. It's like a certain section of the... It's early on in the game, but it's a certain section from the game. It's the Nibelheim section.
Yeah, the Nibelheim flashback.
Yeah.
With that scene with Sephiroth.
Yeah, the iconic fire scene with Sephiroth, and Sephiroth is playable in this, and oh my god, it is so cool. He is like so much fun to play, and it kept giving me a choice between, like, you can of course you can switch between Cloud and Sephiroth. I'm like, fuck that, I'm playing as Sephiroth, you know. And I can't wait for I have my copy pre-ordered. You know, I don't...
What bonus are you getting? Which store?
Okay, well, here's the thing. Normally when I pre-order my games, I do them online, right? So that's
right, I mean, I get you.
But my last two orders got delayed. One got delayed like 5 days, but that was like during a snowstorm. And the other got delayed 1 day. But I'm like so excited for this game. I do not want to risk it getting delayed. So I went over to GameStop and pre-ordered it like...
Okay, Base, you're getting the hat then. I love the fucking hat. I want it so bad. I have gift cards for my birthday and holidays, and I gotta get over to my local store, make sure they have the deluxe edition so I can get my copy in.
I almost wanted to get the collector's edition.
Oh, the one with the statue from the Square store. It looks amazing, but then again, I spent on Tekken already.
I don't necessarily need that type of stuff in my life. You know, it's not... I'm not gonna make that return on investment, but still, like, you know, the movement is fine. It is really good. Of course, it's basically like, it feels like, gameplay-wise, it feels like they're building upon Remake, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the DLC definitely did the synergy stuff, and now they're merging that in, like, the main story. Like, I haven't played myself, but it looks really freaking fluid compared to what Remake is.
This is Remake on steroids, you know?
It is! And even so, it's on 2 discs.
Yeah, and
like,
then,
straight up.
And in this demo, like, I was surprised how much, like, they actually showed us. Like, I'm surprised that, like, after playing, I'm surprised this is, like, what they showed, you know? They flesh out Sephiroth and flesh out Cloud in a way. Even though Cloud's, like, you know, you follow Cloud throughout the game, but, like, they still, like, show parts of him that, like... I'm surprised they gave away here and not, like, in the full game. And then they're releasing another demo where you get to play as, like, Aerith and Tifa and Red 13.
Yeah, it's going to be an update. You get to play in the open world.
Yeah, that I cannot wait to play. And then we get the full game on Leap Year Day. Greg, you told me you haven't gotten a chance to play the demo, but you got the chance to watch the state of play. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I did watch the state of play. I'm working hard on getting Remake done. I'm gonna do the DLC story, and then I'm probably gonna jump straight into Rebirth. I told you my excuse of if I start late already, because personal life and all that yada shit, but it is what it is. I will still definitely play Rebirth.
Yeah, it's my most anticipated game of the year. And crazy.
Well, Tekken's done, so I can jump onto this now.
Yeah, it's crazy. My top 2 most anticipated games of 2024 are Tekken 8 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And after the first 2 months of the year, I would have already been playing both of them. It's crazy how that is. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Greg?
I'm super excited. Square Enix, do your magic good this time. Do your materia magic good this time, because your month is not off to the best start outside of, State of Play.
Yeah. Also, I always promise one of these, and I never do them unless it's like a Cobra Kai spoiler talk. But I always promise like maybe a new movie or a new show comes out, or sometimes a new game, and I say, you know what, I want to do an episode of my podcast that's a spoiler talk, and I never end up doing it. I might do one for this game,
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I didn't do one. I did a spoiler video for Remake. I didn't think about the idea of, wait, I can do other episodes of my podcast, at that time, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's hope I don't backtrack on that. But yeah, any final thoughts on FF7 Rebirth, Greg?
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be the most base game, for quarter one.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. We got Disney.
Everyone's favorite House of Mouse.
This is the topic I forgot about. They got some... I don't know how much we can really talk about this, but they got some new dates.
Yeah, they got new release dates for their movies.
I open up Business Insider, and it reads, Disney has over 40 movies coming to theaters through... I'm sorry, that year is just... Through 2031.
How much are we going to even watch of, this list? That's the real question, I think.
So we got... Okay, so it says Turning Red, which, they're putting that in theaters for the first time.
Yeah, they're putting all this stuff from Disney Plus in theaters because they never got a chance.
Yeah, Luca. And then we got...
Soul as well.
Yeah, Soul, although I think that already happened in theaters.
Yeah, it did. I think it was, in the last month they did that.
Then we got, The First Omen, which is a prequel to 1976's The Omen. Okay, did not know that was happening. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This one I'm looking forward to. Coming May 10th, 2024, of course. Inside Out 2, coming June 14th.
June 14th, and Sam's birthday.
Yo.
He got a nice birthday gift from Disney, the company he fucking hates.
Yeah. Inside Out 2, I feel like... I feel like if you wait this long, it doesn't need a sequel, but I'm excited for it.
I mean, one ended on a good note, but then again, I'm interested, considering I did see this one growing up with my mom.
Yep. Untitled Deadpool 3 on July 26th, which is apparently supposed to be getting a trailer dropping tomorrow at the Super Bowl, or today, depending.
Yeah, I think this some kind of teaser.
This
since it's editing.
The YouTube version of this podcast will probably go up the day of the Super Bowl. But the audio version, DPX Talks for about an hour on SoundCloud and Spotify will be up the night before. So, audio version, go check that out. Alien Romulus on August 16th. This one I'm excited for. It's like a lower budget Alien movie, kind of like how Prey was for Predator.
Yeah, Predator.
We got The Amateur coming on November 8th. It's a spy thriller from 20th Century Studios with Rami Malek as a CIA cryptographer who loses his wife in a terrorist attack. So that's what that is. This one I did not even know was happening until the trailer dropped, and this is where The Rock comes in. Moana 2. I've not watched the trailer yet, but yeah, I'm surprised we're getting... I don't remember hearing about a Moana 2 before this.
This is new. It's supposed to be a Disney Plus series. They turned it into a movie.
Right, yeah. They turned... Which, I feel like the Disney brand's been getting damaged with just Disney Plus.
No, yeah, I agree with you, kind of.
So, but they see.
I mean, it's good to expand, but they're doing it too much.
Yeah, but they see like a Moana series. That they feel like, you know what, we can probably, this doesn't need to be a series, we could probably combine all of these, make some editing to make it more coherent, and make it Moana 2. So yeah, and then we got, oh, I forgot this was coming out, Mufasa the Lion King.
On the same day as Sonic 3.
Yeah.
I think I know who's winning that battle already.
I don't know, The Lion King 2019 made over $1 billion, so...
Yeah, but at what cost with, like, the mixed reaction?
Like, there hasn't been a Disney movie that has made $1 billion since Avatar, and I think that was, like, the only post-pandemic Disney movie to make $1 billion. I think so. I really did not like the 2019 Lion King movie, but it has Barry Jenkins directing it. He directed Moonlight, so that's a vote of confidence, I feel. But still, I don't know. Then we got Disney currently has one more untitled theatrical release set for 2024, but it's not. This list does not contain any 20th Century and Searchlight Pictures films. So the untitled Disney film for this year is coming on September 6th. Then in the future we got Captain America Brave New World on February 15th, 2025. Snow White, the controversial Snow White, coming on March 21st, 2025.
That's going to be great considering the casting behind it.
Fantastic Four comes out...
What we discussed.
Comes out the day before my birthday next year on May 2nd, 2025. Elio comes out on June 13th, 2025. I remember that was
a Pixar movie. This is a Pixar movie.
It's Pixar. I remember them revealing.
Yeah, there was a trailer out there.
They revealed
it
one time last year and it was gonna come out this year. But I guess it got pushed. Live action Moana remake. So they're doing. Wait,
they're still doing it, and The Rock is being in both.
So they're doing Moana 2, and then the next year they're doing a Moana live action remake. Why are they okay? Eventually they're gonna remake their more modern animated movies, but give it a bit more time. The movie's gonna be 10 years old. It's just gonna then be 10 years old when it's whatever. Thunderbolts on July 25th. Blade will supposedly finally come out on November 7th. Damn,
after forever.
4 MCU movies scheduled for next year. After just one this year. Avatar 3 coming on December 19th, 2025. Disney currently has 6 untitled projects set for release in 2025. One for May 9th. One for July 2nd, one for August 8th, one for September 19th, one for November 7th, one for November 26th. And then the other movies are Avengers, Kang Dynasty, or Avengers 5, now formerly Kang Dynasty. The untitled Star Wars movie, in May 22nd of 2026. Untitled Star Wars movie in December 2026. Look at that, 2 Star Wars movies in 1 year. Let's see how. Let's see if that actually happens. And we got, Frozen 3, Zootopia 2, Toy Story 5.
Or as my professor calls it, The Amazing Toy Story 7.
Yeah.
She actually said that. I was just dying.
So, Greg, I'll ask you, what are your thoughts on all these release dates?
Well, Disney's definitely going to be hacked, and I feel they're definitely trying to make up for the damages they've already done in certain aspects. Some good, some bad, some probably mid. I don't know how much I'll get around to them, but certain things, maybe like Toy Story 5, I feel I will get around to. Frozen is kind of a mixed bag. I've seen 1, but not 2. The Marvel movies is going to be a mixed bag for me as well, I know. I'm going to be jumping from place to place because I haven't seen like all the MCU movies from last year. Obviously, like the one I know I definitely did see was Guardians 3. Like the Marvels, I did not see. Like, I mean, even though Paramount logo was in this one, we did see Indiana Jones together, and that was at least decent. But Disney is Disney. They're going to make money in the end.
Well, we spent a lot of time on that. We're going to go over to not Disney, but Warner Brothers. And they've had...
They're in some deep shit.
Yeah. They have this movie that was in the works. It was under the old Warner Brothers. This is when AT&T still owned them. This was before they were sold to Discovery, which that's still crazy. You would think it'd be Discovery sold to Warner Brothers and not the other way around, but it was the other way around. But under the old regime, there was a movie made called Wile E. Coyote Vs Acme, or I think it's just called Coyote Vs.
Yeah, it's Coyote Vs Acme.
Where like Wile E. Coyote, I'm not like it's like this weird sort of thing that happened a while ago where Wile E. Coyote sues Acme for like for damages that Roadrunner has done to him or whatever.
Or it's the inventions, I feel.
Yeah. It's a cool concept, and this was gonna have like, it was gonna be live action and
it's similar to like Space Jam or Back in Action, something like that.
Space Jam, by the way, the most epic movie ever made. It was gonna have John Cena in it, which
he was gonna be the lawyer for Acme.
Yeah, that's a way to make it to rival the epicness of Space Jam. Anyway, well, it was a big thing when it was revealed that Warner Brothers were canceling Coyote vs. Acme. Despite it being completely done, they were canceling it for a tax write-off. And then because of the uproar that it caused, Warner Brothers was like, alright, fine. We'll shop this around, see who wants to distribute it. But then, no studio wanted to distribute it, despite the fact that it tested well, and from people who saw the movie, they were saying it was great, despite the fact that I think James Gunn was a producer on it, and he's the head of DC now, which you don't want to like fuck around with that relationship. But no one wants to buy it because, we got an article from IGN that reads, the headline is, Warner Bros. Reportedly set to shelve and delete Coyote vs. Acme film once and for all. It reads, it appears Coyote vs. Acme may never see the light of day as Warner Bros. Discovery is reportedly set to shelve and delete the film after failing to find a buyer. The Wrap reported that Warner Bros. Rejected offers from Amazon, Netflix, and Paramount. Paramount reportedly also proposed a theatrical release. I forgot to mention that this was set to just be an HBO Max exclusive. But a theatrical release for the film, which Warner Bros. Allegedly rejected. Warner Bros. Reportedly wanted $75 to $80 million for the project and would not allow the studios to counteroffer. More interestingly, the Wrap claimed the 4 Warner Bros. Execs who made the decision, including CEO and President David Zaslav, have yet to see the film's final cut. Okay, well, that I did not know that detail. That's kind of telling. But 2 executives, CEOs, and Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group co-chairpersons Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi reportedly saw a director's cut. In contrast, Warner Bros. Pictures Animation president Bill Demat, I don't know how to say that name, Bill Demashk, sorry if I butchered that, saw an audience preview of the film. And it reads in a tweet from Carson Kerpenek, who I think saw it at a test screening. Coyote vs. Acme is about a giant corporation choosing stock over empathy, doing nothing illegal, but morally shady stuff for profit. It's a David versus Goliath story. It's about the cynical and casual cruelness of capitalism and corporate greed. The irony. So basically, Warner Brothers made a movie with a stupidly big budget for a movie that was not going to see a theatrical cut, so it was not going to be profitable no matter what. And they thought, let's make our money back, let's shelve the movie, and let's make it a fucking tax write-off. People were upset about that, so they shop it around, and no one wanted to buy it, and now they're gonna shelve it, apparently. This sucks. Because, like, the concept sounds so cool. The concept is really cool, you know, and the movie apparently is really good. And I think this should be fucking illegal. Movies that are complete should not, like, you shouldn't be allowed to just delete them, you know, for a tax write-off. You know, like, and it's stupid. This is not the first time Warner Bros. has done this, you know. They did this with Batgirl. They did it with Batgirl, and I feel like that was, like, okay, like, that it wasn't like them having a pattern of doing this. So that was that was just like
okay, we'll just shelve this, I guess. And that was them, I think.
And that was disappointing.
Because they did do a law premiere, and that was it.
Yeah, and it was disappointing to see them shelve Batgirl, but it was like, all right, what are you gonna do? Now
this is even worse. This is just worse.
Yeah,
and especially to, like, fans like us.
And the movie's apparently, like, really good. Batgirl, at least, was apparently not that good, right? Like, and they're kind of put in a lose-lose situation. Like, by making it, like, they gave it a pretty big budget. Greg, if you can look up what the budget for this movie was.
Right, I'm on it, considering I'm on computer. Let me just...
Yeah.
It's literally the first thing. Yeah, its budget, believe it or not, was only $70 million.
That's not the biggest budget, all things considered, but, like, you know, for a movie that was going to go straight to streaming, that's a pretty big budget. And, you know, none of Paramount, Netflix, Amazon, none of them really wanted to buy the movie for that much, just to put it on their streaming service. And who was it? I think it was Paramount. Paramount proposed the theatrical release, but Warner Brothers allegedly rejected it because I think, like... I
mean, it's their IP, I feel. It kind of makes sense of why they did reject it.
Yeah, also, I don't think... Yeah, but it's just... Like, Warner Brothers cannot just be doing this, like... Because no one's going to want to work with them. And...
No.
Like, yeah... Greg, thoughts on the Acme the Coyote versus Acme situation?
Oh boy, there's definitely quite a bit, and there's also, like, other pieces of Warner Media that is not being distributed under Warner, or say, like, Merry Little Batman. MGM's logo is actually at the beginning because it's on Prime Video. Like, they bought out the rights, surprisingly, to put it on there, compared to it being on, like, HBO Max and Cartoon Network. And then there's another Looney Tunes movie that's coming, I'd say, before the end of June, the day the Earth blew up. That's actually not being distributed by Warner. It's by some company I have never heard of. It's called GFM Animation. It's like they're selling off their shit to other companies because they're afraid they're going to lose money. Like, think of the fans. Like, look at why Barbie did so well. Was because they knew how to put it out there. Like, I feel they could definitely put their stuff out there, except they don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, and earlier today, I found a fucking video that Zaslav was at Boston University for, I think it was for a commencement. People were fucking booing him. It was amazing. The guy was like, "Fuck you, you're an asshole. Pay your writers, pay your writers." Like,
I didn't know
with these
that.
people.
Damn.
I agree with these people, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Bob Iger is already bad considering, the direction Disney's going in, but this is a whole new level of honestly just messed up.
Yeah.
Like, if you want your company to, like, stay relevant, do the right things.
Like, I originally had respect. Not that it's all gone away, but like, I had a lot of respect for David Zaslav because he came in and he fired certain people that needed to be fired. He fired certain people that were responsible for the mishandling of the DCEU. So that was perfectly justified.
The DC was good, but now that we're going this route, it's like, oh, all the good just went to shit.
Yeah, no. So but he's doing stuff like this. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating that he cancels Coyote Vs Acme. He cancels Batgirl, which apparently was bad, but he cancels that one Scoob movie, and he doesn't.
Yeah, Holiday Heist.
Yeah, they don't want Batman Caped Crusader. That was another one. They don't want that on their service. They don't want.
I think they sold it to Prime, if I'm correct, and it's going to be under Amazon MGM.
That'll be cool because I remember reading about that series and it looks cool. It sounds cool, but they also don't want that Looney Tunes movie. But they got Velma on there. I'm just saying,
Yeah. I know you had to take a pause, but already Velma was just a bad alarm.
And I also like how you mentioned Barbie because Barbie was made by people who they wanted to tell a story with the Barbie IP, with the Barbie license, and
compared to what Universal's done with the animated stuff for kids, this obviously speaks.
They obviously did it with money in mind, but there was it was Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach had an idea for a Barbie movie, and they made it, and they got creative, and look at that, it made them money. It seems like that's a dime a dozen. David Zaslav Bob Iger. So it's not just David Zaslav. Bob Iger of Disney as well. They just want to do what makes money. That's why at Disney we're getting Toy Story 5 and Zootopia 2
and Frozen 3, Zootopia 2, which I don't think you mentioned. Wait, did you mention Zootopia 2?
I did just say that, yeah, but I think I said that the exact same time you said Frozen 3 though. So, but because those are guaranteed money makers. I think every Toy Story movie, if not most of them, made $1 billion. I don't know if the first two did.
They've been doing pretty high numbers.
Yeah.
I can definitely look up, but that would just take time.
I know Frozen 1 and 2 made over $1 billion, and I know Zootopia made over $1 billion. So those are easy. Easy
money, and even Inside Out was super good and had a good following.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just disappointing, a movie with actual creativity, a unique idea,
and even being completed and ready.
Yeah, and apparently testing well as well. It's disappointing to see this. So yeah, any final thoughts, Greg?
Fuck Zaslav, please, just, if they can do it, I would just release it. Even if it's a case of the Sandy Cheeks movie being leaked on X, I would even take that.
Or I wish I remembered the account that said this, but I don't. But I remember looking on Twitter. I do look on Twitter occasionally now, okay? I remember looking on Twitter and seeing, it was a response to the post about them canceling the movie. It said it should be a law that if no one wants to buy this movie, it should go in the public domain. Put in the public domain.
I would take that too.
Just put it out there. Just release it for free. Just
let us see it in some form.
Release it on YouTube and make all the money back by monetization.
Even if it's direct to video, I think that would still work pretty good.
Yeah. Or even put a paywall behind it. I don't know. But even then it's still that's a part of the problem that whatever. We've gone on long about this. We got the big topic, it was in the title about Xbox going third party, or not really going third party, but But I want to save that for
some changes.
I want to save that for last. I want to save that for last because that's major. So, what I like to do usually when I have a guest on here, I decide like basically all the topics, but I got a guest on here, so I'll let the guest decide on a topic. I don't know what the topic is, but Greg gets to talk about something. I don't think he was ready because I thought he probably thought we were saving it for last, but
all right, fair enough. So, okay, well, there's a lot of Niji Sanji, but I know you're not as interested, so that's gonna go out the window. Basically, they became a bad company, and that's that. But what I think you'll definitely like be more interested in is, I don't know if you've heard, but Capcom has recently put out this like survey, believe it or not, and they are proposing remakes of some games.
I think I did hear about that. I didn't look into it though, but like I think I did hear about that.
I actually did the survey, and I think it was like a choose one, but one I thought that definitely piqued my interest was, surprisingly, Mega Man 1 through 3. And this is where we have the collection already, where, you know, the originals are perfectly playable and they're responsive. But I wouldn't mind seeing the original games in a fresh new coat of paint in RE Engine.
I've, like, thought about, like, Mega Man 2 is, like, top 5 favorite games of all time for me. I actually thought about, like, a full-blown remake of that game. Even though it's, like, amazing, like I think it could definitely do with a new coat of paint, like, and I think Mega Man 1 can get a I know it did get
one I think needs a lot of repairs, and I'm not saying obviously powered up, considering in my terms that's like its own thing with its new Robot Masters, its Mario Maker like mode that it had before it shut down. I know 2 is your favorite, but 3 is mine. Like 3 was amazing for me.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah, Power Up is good regardless, though.
People don't like Powered Up, but I think that's a good game. And 3 is great as well, but I also think 3 I think all the NES games, honestly, can do it.
Yeah, I think 1 through 3 would be first. They're probably just going to split it into parts, if anything.
Which I'd be fine with that.
There's other games as well. They mentioned Onimusha, I think. Like, Onimusha 1 through 3 was mentioned. I'm going to pop up very quickly.
Like, I remember a few years ago, they they re-released Onimusha Warlords.
Yeah, the original got re-released.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, maybe like a new Onimusha game's coming out soon. Maybe this is like a test to see how well it does.
And I got the list. So another surprising one is the Ace Attorney series, like the trilogy, considering, you know, a remastered version's already out there.
Yeah.
Commando, which is that old top-down arcade game. That would be interesting.
That would be cool. Maybe like make it third person. Would
like a third-person shooter, like a tactical shooter with strategy, kind of like, you know, maybe Metal Gear Solid 5 terms, or something along those lines. Another one is Rival Schools, which I think that would definitely do well, considering, you know, its inclusion in Street Fighter.
That would be so cool if they brought back Rival Schools.
I mean, then again, like, I see prices for, like, the old games, and especially Project Justice being, like, hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Like, my god.
Yeah.
They even put it, I know, in the Akira reveal for Street Fighter V when she was DLC. Like, they literally put footage. It's like, if you can show us the footage, why not give us the game as it is, too? Like, that's easy money right there.
Let me guess a game that's on there.
Alright. I already said like 5.
I feel like Dino Crisis is on there, right?
Surprisingly not.
Really?
Yeah, I would kill to see Dino Crisis in some form. I actually also read up, apparently, that Exoprimal was planned to be a Dino Crisis game before Capcom get around. But
there's got to be some Resident Evil remakes on there, like probably Code Veronica.
Well, so there's not on the list, but I have heard rumors that Capcom is actually developing more RE stuff.
Yeah, there's
RE5, I think, is in the list of being remade.
There's RE5, Code Veronica, like they gotta do that one. Like that's the only one.
Yeah, Code Veronica, I think they're doing. I know Resident Evil 9, which is Apocalypse.
Yeah, they might even be remaking the remake of Resident Evil 1, which is a
the first one. I mean, the first remake has held up very well.
Yeah,
but it would be cool.
The tank controls, but yeah.
Yeah. So the other games that they include, Final Fight, which I think would do pretty well. That would do pretty well with, like, you know, all these beat 'em ups coming back, Double Dragon, Gaiden, Streets of Rage with 4, and now the new one from Power Surge.
Yeah, you just make it like a 2D Final Fight. Like, you don't have to fuck around with it. Don't make it.
That one with, like, you know, the drug stuff, and that did not work streetwise. Then there's Breath of Fire trilogy, Gargoyle's Quest 1 and 2.
Gargoyle's Quest was really cool. You played as the fucking...
Yeah, that's an underrated title, or, underrated sub-series within Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
One I would like to see come back is the Maximo games, which they were 2, I know, on the PS2. They're still easy to find from what I've seen, but I wouldn't mind a fresh coat of paint on, like, the, action combat. I mean, you could look at, like, the Devil May Cry remasters, aka I kind of want to see maybe 1 or 3
Give me
remade.
Devil May Cry 6, bro.
Yeah, 6 would be cool, considering, the ending of 5. There's one more game within the question, but I, for the love of God, cannot read the title. Unless I could zoom in. Niji Rocho no Kiseki. I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry. The only one with, like, Japan that I'm familiar with that's, like, exclusive is the quiz series because of the one character who appears in Marvel 1 as an assist. And that's really it.
So,
Fuck. Remember the name, Pure and Fur. There it is.
Wait, so the list doesn't have Darkstalkers on there?
Darkstalkers, I think, is, like, if for a franchise they want to revive.
Right. Alright, these are about remakes.
I mean, they could potentially try something new as well. They were going to release the results, and I think with, like, the results they get is what, they're going to do outside of what they're already planned. Like, even with the survey, you could input the Versus series, and literally it's like, any final comments? Me, free MVC2.
Yeah.
I'm still in that fucking movement.
I
will not stop until it's out.
I would kill for an MVC2 re-release. But, yeah, Capcom, they're great. I love Capcom. Even though they might have some predatory business practices with Street Fighter 6 and its, like, cosmetics and all that.
Yeah, with, like, the character cosmetics and also, like, the Spy Family collab that recently ended.
Yeah.
It didn't look very good.
But they know how to... They respect their IPs, They want people to play their old games, And I respect that a lot from a company. So any final thoughts, Greg?
Hopefully the results, when they come out, they will go by them. Because I would kill to see what they do next.
All right.
And hopefully I become a Capcom creator too. Maybe even you can.
Yeah, maybe. All right, now we're going on to the big one. Save this one for last. Microsoft has been a part of the console wars so long that it's kind of just been agreed upon that the big three are Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, No more, no less. It was... The Xbox started in the, I'd say the 6th generation, that's what it was. 6th generation, along with the PS2 and GameCube and Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast went bye-bye. But the Xbox came out, and it did not sell that well, but, like, Microsoft had faith in it, in the series to keep it going. So then they put out the Xbox 360, and that's what really, like, if the Xbox 360 did not do well, they probably would have bowed out of the console wars a long time ago. But the Xbox 360, came out like a year before the Wii and PS3 did, and then the PS3, when that came out, it tripped and fell a massive flight of stairs with its launch, even though the 360 had the Red Ring of Death, which was also, like, tripping and breaking its fucking leg on all the steps. I don't know where this analogy is going, but
it's going somewhere.
But, like, the 360 is like maybe a top 5 favorite console of mine of all time, because like people say Xbox has no games. Yeah, it's true, but the 360 is the exception. Like, that had, like,
360 was honestly peak Xbox.
360 had like an amazing lineup of Xbox's, like, their exclusives, and on top of that, the best versions of the multi-platform games, right? So, but then the next generation happened, And Sony came out, they learned from the PS3 launch, so they came out like, okay, alright, we're gonna do right here. And then that was after Xbox had just a really shitty reveal for the Xbox One. And then the launch was terrible. And to say that killed them, I think is, like, overblowing it a little bit. But they haven't necessarily recovered from that, you know. And then the Xbox Series X came out, and I don't think it's that bad. But, like, when it comes to, like, should you buy a Series X, or like, do you have more reasons to buy a Series X or a PS5? There's just no question. It's PS5. When you look at the exclusive games, the PS5 has the Series X beat without a question. You know, again,
Really?
I still love the Series X. You know, it has like backwards compatibility with 4 generations is something that I don't think gets talked about enough. And like games look and run well on there, and you know, Game Pass. People who say Game Pass is not the best deal in gaming are getting high as fuck on some copium, right? So I just wanted to say all that to make it clear that I don't pick sides when it comes to the console wars. I think the console wars is fucking stupid, and it's mostly just people on that are chronically online. But I feel like this all started maybe like earlier, not this month, but earlier this year, I guess you can say, where rumors of Hi-Fi Rush and then eventually Sea of Thieves, rumors of start to surface of those games coming to PS5 and Switch. And at first it was like, okay, this is pretty big. But Sea of Thieves is a successful, like, one of Xbox's most successful games of, like, the past 10 years, I feel. And it's been out for a while, so yeah, I guess now you can give it a wider audience. And Hi-Fi Rush coming to PS5 and Switch is almost like how Cuphead and Ori came to PS5 and Switch. Or I don't think Ori was on PlayStation, but Cuphead was on PlayStation and Switch, and
Yeah, it was on PS4.
Ori was on PS5 as well. Ori was on Switch, but so I thought it was like that. Then more and more games were getting leaked to be coming to the PS5, and I got an article from from Digital Trends titled "Every Rumored Xbox Exclusive Coming to PS5." The first big one was Starfield. This is huge because this was like Xbox is their first big AAA next gen or current gen now. Like, people gotta stop calling it next gen. It's current gen. Exclusive is coming to Xbox, which that might not be true, but we'll get into that later. It reads, when rumors started brewing about Xbox launching multi-platform games in January, players expected that it would extend to the company's smaller releases. That may not be the case. According to a bombshell report from Xbox Era, Microsoft may be planning to bring its biggest exclusive, Starfield, to PS5. Sources reportedly told Xbox Era that Bethesda's Outer Space Epic will come to Sony's system sometime after the release of its Shattered Space expansion set to launch this year. As part of the report, Xbox Era adds that Xbox has made additional investments into PS5 dev kits to bolster its multi-platform efforts. So that's big enough. There's Hi-Fi Rush, of course, and Sea of Thieves that were listed here, but then another one, which is a game I covered 3 weeks ago after that developer showcase. Covered 3 weeks ago, the last episode of this podcast. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It reads, every game mentioned so far is a previously released game, but what about new ones? Some major upcoming Xbox games could be going multi-platform too. According to The Verge, Xbox exclusive Indiana Jones and the Great Circle could be exclusive no more. sources reportedly told the site that Xbox was considering launching the action-adventure title on PS5. The exact timing of that is unclear. There's a chance, though, that it launches alongside the Series X and S version later this year. If that happens, it'll be a major disruption of the usual console-exclusive strategy and a signal that Xbox is plotting a significant strategic shift. And then, okay, for some reason it's not on here, but then there are also rumors of Gears of War coming to PS5. And I think Switch as well. But Gears of War, now that's not like, you know, maybe Starfield was like, let's be real, if it wasn't owned by, if Bethesda wasn't bought out by Microsoft, Starfield would probably be on PS5. Same with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Gears of War, though, has always been Xbox. Like, that, like, Marcus Phoenix is, like, one of the mascots of Xbox. He's probably, like, the second most popular Xbox character aside from Master Chief. To have that on PlayStation is wild. But honestly, I might, if that is true, I might just want to buy that just so I can have fucking Gears of War on PS5. That sounds so cursed.
First, but it's gonna happen either way.
Yeah.
I also heard a few rumors about Halo, actually, possibly on PlayStation and Switch,
like,
which I find kind of even funnier.
I feel like those have been rumors for a while. Like,
yeah.
when Microsoft was, like, when Xbox characters like Steve and Banjo were in Smash, I feel like that's when those rumors started to surf to support the idea that Master Chief was going to be in Smash. And I never once thought Master Chief was going to be in Smash, to be honest.
I mean, come on, you can look at Fortnite, even though that's like what Epic Games, like, you can put him and Kratos on your Switch and nothing will happen.
No, but like, so the idea of Microsoft becoming like third party is crazy. It doesn't list all of them. Like, you know, like Forza's not in there, Halo's not in there.
Yeah, but it's rumored.
But still, like, there are other games coming out this year, like Hellblade, which I saw as like a small rumor that could be coming multi-platform, but also like Avowed was not listed as a multi-platform game. Fable, which I know is still a ways off, but still Fable wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So there's a good amount of games still, but like, I don't know, I have another article that I'll get into it a bit later about Xbox kind of denying the claims of going third party or something along those lines, but it's just like, it shows that they haven't necessarily recovered from the Xbox One, you know? And people buy, like, Nintendo for Mario, for Zelda, for Smash Brothers. People buy PlayStation for God of War, for Spider-Man, you know, for Final Fantasy, I guess, even though that's third party, but still. People buy Xbox. People buy Xbox for Game Pass. That's kind of the reason I bought it, you know? But, and that leads me to another thing. I don't think Xbox are leaving the console market. I don't think
they're not. I've heard rumors of like 2 new pieces of hardware that they're making.
Yeah. One of them's a portable, which I think sounds
similar to the Switch, and then another's like the all-digital console that's a little more powerful than Series X.
And about the all-digital one, like, people are saying like, oh, gaming's about to go all digital. Like, I don't think that's entirely true. Like, I think that will happen at some point, but
oh yeah, definitely. It's kind of inevitable looking at how, you know, games are being published nowadays, like big titles like Alan Wake 2 being digital only.
Yeah, but like, when people are saying like the death of physical media is like imminent, it's the death of physical media, or physical media with gaming, I mean. It's the death of that with Microsoft. Like, Nintendo, Switch games sell best physically, and
PlayStation does decent as well from time to time.
Yeah, I think
my physical collection for both is fucking huge, and I'm gonna keep it running.
I think I read somewhere, this just supports how well physical games on Switch do. I think I read somewhere that Tears of the Kingdom, physically, okay, not counting the digital sales, physically sold more than Resident Evil 4 Remake and Jedi Survivor combined. Digital, physical, for both those games combined.
Not
Tears of the
surprised
Kingdom-
considering it's only one console.
Yeah.
And then again, PC gaming and whatnot, master race and that shit.
But this leads me back to Xbox. Their digital only console, I think it's just going to be a Game Pass machine. I think that's what it's going to be. Like, maybe you buy it and get a subscription to Game Pass, like that's what it comes with, or whatever.
Or it's just something you get throw in your bag, I guess, is like, oh, hey, let me bring a console over. That's like the modern equivalent of that. If like you don't want to bring a PS2 or a GameCube like back then, like that's the modern equivalent.
Yeah,
is like a Switch or.
I think that's what Game Pass is going to be, or what Xbox is going to be. Like,
not even Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass, from what I've heard.
And I think like that's going to be their branding, really. Like it's not going to, they're not going to be marketing the console around like their games. It's going to be around Game Pass, you know. And maybe like I could totally see like, it's come out more recently that like a lot of these reports might not be true. Like Starfield might not be coming multi-platform.
Yeah, I've heard of that from
overall.
like Nate the Hate, I think. Yeah, it was Nate the Hate.
And Indiana Jones might not be. Gears of War might not be. It seems pretty clear that Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush will.
Yeah, and Hi-Fi. Hi-Fi is like perfect for the Switch. Like,
even though, that makes sense.
Performing, it would work pretty good.
That makes sense. But I kind of forgot what I was saying. Fuck. I don't know what I was saying. Basically, Xbox is going to be a Game Pass machine, I feel. And I remember what I was saying. Maybe like what could happen is these games come out on Xbox like either first and then they come out later on PlayStation, or they do a day and date thing but Xbox gets it on Game Pass, right?
I think that is the plan, if I remember correctly, but we're going to find that out pretty soon.
But
I know for certain things like Banjo, considering the rumors that it's had, like, it will probably release on Xbox, PC, and Switch. Like, all three at once, but obviously Xbox gets it on Game Pass.
Yeah, but it's just, wow, like, this is insane that Microsoft are gonna go, like, semi-third party. But then, that leads me to this next article that I got from The Gamer. It reads, Xbox reportedly has, quote, no plans to stop making consoles. It's been an absolute roller coaster of a week for Xbox fans, as rumors are flying regarding potential plans that will take several of the platform's exclusive titles to other systems such as PlayStation. Originally, Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves were the only two titles supposedly considered for release on other systems, but further rumors of titles like Starfield and Indiana Jones heading to PlayStation have thrown the future of Xbox into question. Xbox head Phil Spencer was then forced to issue a statement on the whole situation, who said that Xbox is, quote, listening to fans and that a business event scheduled for next week should clear up the platform's future. That's the best explanation that Xbox is offering for now, but a recent newsletter from journalist Shannon Liao has claimed that Spencer held an internal town hall meeting the day after his announcement to ease the worries of employees. In this meeting, Spencer reportedly told employees that the company has no plans to stop making Xbox consoles and that they'll still be a big part of its strategy of bringing games to other platforms going forward. However, it doesn't seem as though Spencer addressed the rumors surrounding titles such as Starfield and Indiana Jones heading to PlayStation, which we'll probably hear more about during this business event next week. So the no plans to stop making consoles doesn't really clear the air for these third-party games. Like, I just think Xbox, like I said, I didn't think, like, the Xbox One launch was, like, I guess I underplayed just how detrimental that was. Like, it definitely seemed like something you could recover from, but, like, the Xbox just never has. Like, they still make money, I guess. You know, they're still big. Microsoft is still a very profitable company. Even within gaming, they're still very profitable. But, like, I just think, like, they just haven't, like, they've always just been the number 3, really, if you count Nintendo. But yeah, I've kind of been rambling a lot, Greg. What are your thoughts on the exclusive games coming to Xbox, or coming to PlayStation, and the stuff that Phil Spencer said? What do you think is going to happen at this business event? What are your thoughts?
There's definitely a lot to unpack. Like, I mentioned this to you alone, but there could be a Nintendo partner direct, and I have a feeling that we could be seeing Hi-Fi and
we could
Sea of Thieves being revealed there for, Switch, and then it was like, a separate trailer for PS5 and stuff like that. But I feel Phil Spencer is going to probably try to reimburse. It's like, we're still going to be making consoles for a bit longer, but we're trying to expand our library to as much users as we can across different platforms. Obviously outside Xbox and PC with, like, Steam Epic Games, PC Game Pass, Microsoft Store, which you can actually buy games off of. But one thing we haven't, I would say, fully mentioned is, like, the closure of some stuff with ActiBliz. Toys for Bob, I've heard, is actually closing their offices in person, and they're going to be doing remote work, which kind of is shocking.
Yeah.
It begs the question, how are they going to run, like, Crash Team Rumble, which is already mid in my terms, and is like, will they do Spyro Crash 5, maybe? Like, will that still happen?
I don't mean to cut you off here, but it's frustrating. No. It's frustrating that, like, you have this studio, Toys for Bob, who are known for making platformers like Crash and Spyro, and you're like, alright, you're working on Call of Duty. I hate that so much. Let them fucking do what they... But, sorry, continue. About, like, the exclusivity stuff and all that. So, sorry about that, guys. A big fire happened, but we swallowed it, both of us. So...
Tasted wonderful.
So, it was very cold, surprisingly. I'm surprised that a fire was cold. But, so, Greg, you were saying about the exclusive games? And
so, regarding Activision, I'm sure you're aware of when they said, like, one franchise they wanted to keep third party and they chose Call of Duty. I'm thinking they are going to revert that to probably, like, everything. So, it'll be widely available. So, Crash and Spyro, if it does happen, it could still be on PlayStation, which in my terms has always been their home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure you can agree with me on that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. What are your thoughts on, like, the exclusive games coming to PlayStation and Nintendo?
Hey, Master Chief on Switch, or even, like, PlayStation, that's going to be pretty funny. But stuff like Hi-Fi and Sea of Thieves is not really surprising considering the big player base it has.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Starfield is still up in the air, or I should say up in space. Indiana Jones, I mean, it would probably fit on PlayStation. Like, if Bethesda, then again, wasn't owned by Microsoft, I think that would be the plan.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the future of Xbox, though? Because that's like the main thing that I feel like is in question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for maybe some backup, I could throw in that huge Giga leak that happened with, like, the leaked hardware, the leaked upgraded controller, developers that they have on hand with, like, even some names like, I think Activision, they listed Transformers, so they could potentially re-release those or do something with that. But I even saw shit with, like, web browser streaming similar to that of Google Stadia before that fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Microsoft definitely has stuff to work with, but the real question is, which way are they going to go and how are they going to execute it in the end?
Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll see that business event next week. But yeah, any final thoughts, Greg?
Xbox is honestly in a very tight position right now, but we will see like the real truth of what's going to happen come next week.
All right. Yeah, that does it for this episode. Pretty long one. We had hour 40 minutes.
Should have been renamed DPX Talks for about 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
About to it. We're not quite there yet, but
yeah.
Yeah. But thanks for stopping by, Greg.
Anytime.
Anything you'd like to plug, and anything you got coming up?
Okay, so the YouTube channel, I know the only thing I uploaded was Tekken Collector's Edition Unboxing, which somehow has a dislike already. I don't know who that was, depending on where I shared it, but thanks, 1 and 2. Just the channel should be linked on the MeCast page, and then from there are my other socials, which I'm frequently active on, I guess, except for Twitch, since I only just use it for watching rather than concentrating. Oh, and the arcade consoles as well. We've been the reason why I haven't been uploading on my channel as much is because I've been doing a lot of work for that channel. And there is still more we have to do. Even though the page is mostly Nintendo, we've been experimenting with some other things as well, and I'm excited to see the future of it. And there are potential more members and even guests, so stay tuned for all of it, me and Tech, and of course MeCast as well, because I'm obviously still going to be a part of it no matter what.
Yep.
As for what's upcoming, to be determined.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
We got some good stuff cooking for the MeCast for sure.
Yeah, we do.
Stuff you won't want to miss. And of course, you can follow me, DPX, on Twitter, Twitch. Join the MeCast Discord server. If you're on the audio version of this, whether you're on SoundCloud or Spotify, I'm going to be looking towards getting it maybe on like Apple or Amazon.
DPX and Apple Music.
Yeah. If you're listening to the audio version of this, go to my YouTube channel, DPX Solo. So give me a subscribe. If you're on YouTube, which is more likely because these obviously do better on YouTube, but if you're on YouTube, go to either SoundCloud or Spotify for podcasters. Go to DPX Talks for about an hour. Give me a follow. Give me some listens. Give me some likes. I think that helps it out. Yeah, we'll be back. Hopefully, I'll do that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth spoiler talk. If not, be back with another normal episode. But either way, I'll be back with another episode in March of DPX Talks for about an hour. Take care, guys.
Happy gaming. Thanks for listening, guys.